Okay, hey everybody. I'm checking tech real quick. My husband's on the other side of me. If you know the drill, we are checking to make sure you can hear me and see me. Give us just 1 minute and welcome. Thank you so much for crafting with me today. I'm going to open up the comments here. Give us just 1 minute and welcome. Thank you so much for crafting with me today. I'm going to open up the comments. Okay, you got to mute that. All right, seems like you guys can hear me and see me okay. All right, so we are, well, first, hi, I'm Abby from Abbi Kirsten Collections. Most of you probably know me if you're tuning in from my community. For those of you who maybe just happened along this video, like I said, I'm Abby. I'm the creator and owner at Abbi Kirsten Collections. I'm a craft blogger. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited for today's live. We are going to be making, this is my daughter Ella. You see her head bobbing over here. We have a little height issue, even though she's really tall for her age. She's my little assistant. And today, what are we going to be making today, Ella?
Ornament.
Yeah, what kind of ornaments are we going to be making? You know, silly girl. We're going to be making floating ornaments with the help of our Cricut machine. So here's a couple designs that we have here. See what's in the comments here. Hi, Trish. Hi, Susan. Hi, everybody who's watching. And it gets lonely on this side of the screen, guys, so feel free to drop comments, drop questions. I'm all for it, so go for it. All right, so floating ornaments today. These are super fun, and they are a great craft for beginners. Christmas is like my favorite season for crafting because there's just so many ideas. Is it your favorite too? Yeah, it's my favorite for crafting. I always have too many ideas to execute and not enough time. But what I love about this craft is you can make a ton of them in a short period of time for, you know, your own Christmas tree, to give as last minute gifts. Everybody loves a handmade ornament at Christmas. And all you need are these plastic ornament balls, which we'll talk about more in a minute. You'll need some clear acetate and some vinyl. And I have lots of designs and other templates that I will mention as well. So we're going to go over first supplies, and then I'm going to cover just a couple tips in Cricut Design Space. I'll share my screen with you, and then I'll just show you how I'll actually get the design inside of the ball, because that's usually where people are like, well, how do you actually do that? So there is a trick, and I will share it with you. Yes. Do we need any more ornaments?
The balls thing.
Yeah, we're probably going to just reuse some of those that we have there. See, I got some
more.
Empty, I know, but I have some empty ones here. See?
Oh.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about the supplies real quick. Let me check in the comments real here.
So,
Hi, Donna. Hi, everybody. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, welcome. All right. So supplies. So let's talk about supplies real quick. Kind of have a major mess going on in my craft room right now. But here is my. Oh, here we go.
do we need any
Okay.
balls?
Yep, you can show them that in just a second. And you can also hold this. This is the secret sauce, okay? You can hold the secret sauce.
I don't think they're going to see it.
They'll get the idea. All right, so for floating ornament supply list, here we go. We need vinyl. It can be plain vinyl. It can be holographic vinyl, which is what I'm going to be featuring mostly today. The textured metallic is also really pretty for floating ornaments, but I like holographic and textured metallic. So these are both by Cricut, but you can use any brand, of course, of vinyl that will work. So just permanent vinyl is fine, not iron-on or anything like that, just permanent vinyl. Yeah, show me, you'll need that for a weeding tool, of course, for weeding our vinyl. Very good. And then we're going to need transfer tape, of course, because we're working with vinyl. And you'll want to have, oh, yep, you got one too. You're going to want to have fillable plastic ornament balls. So these are available online. I have resources on the blog. Just go to abbikirstencollections.com. You will see them right at the top. I just posted a blog post on the other day, so they're right there at the top for you. There's resources linked in there. But these are really great because they're not the kind that split apart, which I'm not a fan of, if I can avoid them. But they're the kind that have the lid that pop off, and then you will actually put the design down in there. So again, craft stores have them this time of year. Amazon has them. Just look for plastic fillable ornaments, and you will find them. I have a frog in my throat today. Yes, thank you. Okay, so how do we actually get the design inside? We use acetate for that. These are also kind of known as like mylar sheets, like stencil sheets. but it's clear. It's not frosted or anything like that. It's clear. And what we do is we're going to apply the vinyl to the acetate sheet, and then we're going to roll the acetate sheet up, and it's going to unroll once it's inside of the ornament here. And that's going to give us that floating ornament effect. Okay, so that's the secret sauce here. You hold secret sauce. Thank you. Okay, all right, so let me check comments real quick, and then I'm going to share my screen with you guys just to show you where you can get some of these designs and the floating ornament templates, and then just a couple tips and tricks that you'll want to know for working with this craft in particular. Okay, give me a quick moment here. Hey, hi Kathy, hi Tina, welcome everybody. Thank you. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any questions so far, so I'm gonna go ahead and hi Amy, and share my screen with you, and we're gonna hop over to Cricut Design Space. So let me
It looks like somebody else got the daughter.
Yep. Okay. And can you see my screen okay?
Sure can.
Okay, cool. You guys can still hear me okay?
Should we keep ordering that on the side too?
All right, so here we are. Yeah, you can just hold on to that for a minute, sweetie, okay? I gotta teach him in Design Space right now, so I need you to be quiet for a minute, okay? Okay, so here we are in Cricut Design Space. Now, a couple things to note about this. These designs you're seeing here on my screen, some of them are freebies, some of them are extras for our premium members. So you can find out more about that on abbykirstencollections.com/premium members. I'll get into that in just a quick second here, but I want to let you know that several of these here, the column is All is Calm and Bright, Deck the Halls, Joy to the World, those are freebies. And then these additional scene designs here, these are for our premium members. And this one right here, the Oh Holy Night one, I whipped this one up like 30 minutes ago. And the reason I did it is because we had one of our premium members request a nativity scene, and I actually wanted to include that, and I never got around to it. But I am testing this one right after the live. So for all premium members who are watching or are catching the replay, this will appear in the vault by the end of the day today. So just be on the lookout for that, okay? So it will be available to you. These are our floating ornament template guides. So what I mean by that is this is the part that we're gonna cut out in acetate so that we can apply these really pretty vinyl designs to the acetate. So these are 100% free, okay? Members.abbykirstencollections.com. You can find them completely for free. And the reason I wanted to definitely give these away for everyone for free is because usually people want to do floating ornaments with their own design and concept on them. Some people like these designs I offer, other people want to do their own thing. So with these, you can do your own thing. You can put whatever you want onto them. So that's super handy. So let me just show you where you would download these really quickly. And then I'm going to show you how I would scale these in Design Space to make sure it's a right fit for your ornament. Okay. So let me head back over. Let me check questions real quick.
I have a question.
Doesn't look like we have any so
Okay, cool.
I have
Yes,
a question.
Ella has a question. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't really know if you can use regular vinyl, but how would it not have the stick to it if you can't use regular vinyl?
So that's why we want to use regular vinyl. We don't want to use, you could probably actually use iron-on because I've done iron-on on acetate before, but I haven't tested that yet. So I don't want to recommend something I haven't tested.
I thought you said iron.
All right, you guys. So members.abbykirstencollections.com, we have tons of freebies, and then we have an upgrade for premium members as well. Let me scroll down here. If you scroll down, you'll find recent projects. You can see our floating ornament templates here, and there's a sizing guide for you, which will help because there are a lot of different sizes of ornaments, obviously, out there. So I've kind of rounded up the most common sizes that you can find at craft stores and online to try and make your job a little bit easier. Here's some of our premium member designs. And then if you click on view more, you'll find some of the freebies as well. And of course, there's loads of other things you guys can check out in there as well. So that's where you'll go to download these if you want to find these exact templates, okay? If you haven't created your free account yet, just plug in your name and email, and it'll send you a link to set a password up, and you can hop right in there, start favoriting items and having all that good fun. Okay. So back over to Design Space here. I'm going to cover how I would upload these as well. I always cover that when I do workshops. or lives because I know we get newbies who have no idea even how to upload their own SVG cut file to Design Space. So I like to go through that real fast, just to make sure no one's like completely lost on the fundamentals. Baby, let's not make noise, okay? They gotta be able to hear me. All right, so if we wanna upload a design, I'm just gonna pick one of these designs randomly to upload here. We're gonna visit the design panel. That's the one to our left-hand side. Okay, you're gonna see an upload button right in the left-hand side here. You're gonna click on it. You're gonna click on upload image, and you're gonna click browse your computer. So wherever you decide to save these files, whether it be your desktop, your downloads folder that it goes to automatically, another folder you have set up, that's where you wanna navigate to grab that SVG file, okay? So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna click browse. And we're gonna go over to templates. Let's see here. I don't think I have. I don't know which ones I do or don't have loaded. I'm just gonna pick. I'll just pick one here. We'll pick "'Tis the Season" and we'll just click. You like that one? We'll click open. It's gonna give us a preview here, and then just click upload at the bottom. It's gonna drop it under recent uploads. You'll see it here, and you wanna make sure you click it so that it's highlighted, okay? Once it's highlighted, you'll be able to click Add to Canvas at the bottom. And it's gonna pop it into Design Space here. Oh, it's coming in very large. This is not the right template that I had in the vault. Let me grab a different one real quick. It's okay, baby girl. Mommy just grabbed the wrong template. Let's see, I was uploading all the, we're just gonna grab this set of 4 here. There we go. That one was not sized correctly. And I will go back and double check. I double checked them all before I uploaded to the vault, but I will double check. You can usually just resize them, but I try to make sure that there's not too much extra work. You will have to do some resizing for this because every ornament size is gonna be a little different. But I'll double check to make sure that one's not loading weird right after the live. Okay, so here is one of the designs I brought in. These are premium members here, but like I said, there's some freebies also. And the base templates are freebies no matter what. So those you can use to make your own. That's how you bring an SVG in. That's simple. So I'm not gonna use these since I have them here already, but that would be exactly how you would bring the file into Design Space, okay? So I'm just gonna click delete on that. And let's see, what design do we want to have? Let's do Mr. Snowman, I think. You wanna do Mr. Snowman, or you wanna do the Merry Christmas one maybe? I like the Merry Christmas one, that one's really pretty.
I like the where Santa Claus is.
Where Santa Claus? Oh, the Believe one? Yeah, that one's good too. I have that one on my desk already cut out, I think.
I know where it is.
Yeah, sorry, we had some pre-cut out here. I want to see if there's. Oh, so that's the "'Tis the Season" one. Yeah, we'll stick with the little deer one here. Okay, so let me zoom in here a little bit. So with ornaments, there's going to be a variety of sizes. So there's like these more traditional sizes, and then there's bigger ones, and then there's more disc-shaped ones as well. So you're going to have to think about that as far as adjustments for your templates. So what that means exactly is you need to know the size of your ornament as far as like what is the width or the diameter of your ornament. Most ornaments are going to have that written on the packaging. And if you're not sure, generally they're in one of the standard sizes. So if you go to the blog here, I actually have some sizes that are written for you. So, and I kind of marked them by what was like popular. And so these would be a great guide as well. And I include this image guide in the free downloads also so that you can print it off and use it if you would like. So I'm going to use this one here, which is the 3.74 size in inches. So a lot of times you will see all of these ornament sizes, they will be written in millimeters. And so you might need to go to Google and just convert millimeters to inches, because most of the time, most of us are going to be working probably in inches. So that's just something you're going to want to keep in mind to make sure that you're sizing it correctly with the conversion. So if you need to change your size for any of these base templates here, when you bring this in, you just want to ungroup it with the little ungroup icon right at the top. You can also, they always seem to move this ungroup or change the look of it. So I've just started teaching people, just right click and it's always there. That way you don't have to worry about, did the icon color change or something? Okay. Okay, so then you can select any one of these pre-sized designs here, or you can scale them to be a little different. So this ornament here, I ended up needing it to be, I bought these, I don't know where I got these, but they're kind of exceptionally large. I may have got them at Michael's craft store. They're exceptionally large. They're 3.74. So I ended up scaling one of these templates. Actually, this one's larger. I scaled this one down just a smidge. I may go back and add that as an additional template because that might be the case for other people too. So I may add that as an additional template. But you'll just want to scale these, okay? So let's say, for example, I need to scale this down to 3.74. You want to make sure you're scaling according to the width and not the height. Because if you scale by the height, it's going to include this little crown part right here for the top of our ornament. And then that's not going to be accurate to the actual diameter of our ornament. So making sure that little lock icon is on at the very top here where we're under the size in Design Space, top edit bar. Just put your cursor in. Again, make sure that lock icon is on so you don't stretch things by accident. And then just change the size. I think I'm going to go back and add another template at this size as well. And okay, that's adjusted now. So now I know that is the size of my ornament. And I figured that out because I knew the size of this in millimeters when I bought it. And then I converted it to inches. And now I'm putting it here in Design Space. Okay? And then you would do the same thing for your design. So hypothetically, let's just say I'm using this template. And this is falling behind. So let's send to front. And then we want to check the size of this. So is it sitting here where it's kind of, it needs to have a little bit of grace around the edges. You don't want it like scaled like this to where it's like butting right up against or it's kind of going over it because it's not going to look well. So you do want it to have just a tiny bit of grace around the edge. And I would actually go a tiny bit smaller than that. Okay. So something like that would be appropriate for that sizing. And then that would just apply to any designs or size ornaments that you would want to do for this project, okay? And the last thing you want to do, which is super important when you have to do sizing and setup like this in Design Space, is make sure you save your project. Because if you're using the same ornaments in the future, then you can just make it and you don't have to go through all these extra steps. So that really helps. All right, so what we're gonna do now. No, baby, I didn't throw away your Barbie. The doggy got the Barbie because you left it on the floor and I told you not to do that. So the Barbie's broken.
What, the tail break?
Mm-hmm.
It could be broken.
Oh, okay. Well, it is what it is, baby. I'm sorry. All right, so that's it for Design Space setup in general. Let me head over and check comments real quick, and then we're going to move on to cutting this out.
No questions.
No questions so far? Okay. Okay, guys, good. I hope that means that you're liking this and that I'm answering all the questions as I go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut one of these designs out. So I'm just gonna group all this real quick. Actually, no, I need that also. I'm going to group this, and I'm just going to hide it in the layers panel here. That way I can just focus on this one design. And we're going to click Make It. I'm using the Maker 3, but you can use any of the full-size machines. And I don't see why you can't use the Cricut Joy. I have not tested it. I will test it after the live just to make sure. But even though we're cutting acetate, acetate is usually thin enough. The acetate I use is, where you got it, baby? The acetate I use is 4 ml. So it's not super stiff, and it's really no thicker than a piece of cardstock. So I don't see any reason why the Joy can't handle that. And I just use the fine point blade, which the Joy comes with. So you should be able to make these with the Joy as long as you're using an ornament that isn't bigger than the size limitations of the Joy machine.
You do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that most ornament packages do not tell you what the actual size is. How do you measure to get the correct template?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I did have a couple that I got that I think actually it was this one because I picked them up loose in Joann's and there wasn't anything on the tag. So that's a good question. Now, hey, Ella, I need you not to be doing that, okay? So that's a really good question. So I am not a math whiz. Maybe my husband can answer this better, but I calculated the circumference by measuring with like a sewing measuring tape. So you can wrap around the center. So if you calculate the circumference, you can usually calculate the diameter, and then that will give you what you need to plug in. So is that correct? My husband's he's the math brain in the family. I'm the creative brain.
That's the simple way to do it.
That's the simple way to do it. And it's okay if you don't know how to write that on paper, because Lord knows I don't. Just go to Google, and Google saves us every day, right? So just type in like diameter to circumference to diameter conversion, and you'll find converters that'll come up for free. And you can just plug those measurements in. So yeah, I had to do that on one of them. And that would be my recommendation. If someone else has a better idea, please feel free to share with the class. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm just going to hit continue. We're going to cut the acetate sheet, and then we're going to cut the vinyl design. So it's connecting to my Cricut Maker, which is going to be behind me here. And there is an acetate setting in Design Space. I've favorited the design, the material here, but you can click Browse All Materials and then just type in whatever material you're looking for, and then you can find it. Okay, so I'm going to select acetate here, and we're going to go ahead and load up our machine. So, baby girl, acetate. And can you put that on the mat for me? We don't need that stuff yet, so put that down. Okay.
I have to do acetate first.
Because that's what Cricut's telling us to cut first. But sometimes we do what Cricut tells us. Not all the time, but sometimes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut this out. If you guys have any questions up until this point, please let me know. There's actually more comments coming in down here. I need to be able to see.
Someone's trying to do it as they watch the live.
Oh, you're following along live. Okay. Well, there will be a replay. So if you need to go back and, review a part of it, or I end up going at a different speed than you can come back and watch the replay. I also have the blog post up on the site so that you can follow that also with all like the dimensions and the templates and all that good stuff. All right. Did you press it down good? All right. So she just added this to the Cricut mat. Can you step aside, baby, so I can see? Added to the Cricut mat, the acetate here. You can use a brayer tool if you have one, just to push the materials in the mat, especially if your mat maybe is well used. That can be very helpful. And then once we load our mat, just press the flashing play icon, or it might look like a Cricut C icon if you're using a different model. You want to press that for me? All right. All right, so we're going to let that cut out. I know. We covered our speaker up with some of our paper, but it still let everybody hear us, so it's a good speaker, right? Okay. Can you hold that for me because it wants to roll away? All right, so that's cutting. So I want to show you guys.
There's an easier way. Just block it.
And does the acetate have a cover on it?
Like a liner you would peel off. Maybe that's what you mean. No, mine does not. There might be some that does, but mine does not. I have links on the blog for the acetate that I used. It's a 4 ml. You could probably use something slightly thinner or slightly thicker. I haven't tested personally, but I don't see why something slightly thinner or slightly thicker wouldn't work. I wouldn't go much thicker because then you might have trouble getting it into the ornament. All right, let's show them what we're doing here, okay, baby? So we want to show them what's going on here. Okay, so we have our acetate base piece cut out here. And I'm just doing this midair, but peel that off. So now we have our little floating ornament. This is what's going to make it look floating for us to put our design on. Okay.
I can't even see it on the screen.
Let me get this off. And then Cricut is telling us to go ahead and cut out the vinyl. And for my vinyl, I'm selecting Holographic Sparkle because that's what I'm using. So just select your corresponding material
Can I
for
cut
that.
it real quick?
Yeah, you can trim that down. We don't need to put the whole mat on there. You want to hold it and I'll trim towards you? Okay, hold it down so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right.
I don't think they can see.
It's okay. They know we're trimming vinyl down. I think they got it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's
All right, so let's put it, yep. So we're just gonna go ahead and place the vinyl straight down onto our mat. I'll show you in just a minute. Miss Ella's being my little helper here.
Is this a new mat? This is really sticky.
Yeah, this is a newer mat. You got it? Yeah. Oh, hang on.
Has
It's got wrinkles in it, baby. All right, let's show them on here because they need to know what to do. Okay,
It's so sticky.
going down.
Somebody is asking, can you print design onto printable acetate?
Good question. So I've actually been testing that myself. Let me load this up and then I'll answer that question real quick. Let me add the brayer, baby. Thank you. You want to do this part? Yeah, you can help this part. Okay, so I just put the holographic vinyl in there. Sometimes holographic vinyl can get bubbles in it, so the brayer tool can be helpful to make sure you're pressing that material and it's not getting bubbles. Okay, you want to go ahead and load that for me? You're going to load that? All right. I'm going to back it up. Okay, she's going to load that and that's going to cut out. So question about printable acetate. So there's really no such thing as printable acetate. However, there is such a thing as, I don't think I have it. Oh, it's like, honey, can you hand me the orange package is sitting right on top of that other printer? I just want to show them some of my examples. Yeah, I don't do that. Okay. So as far as printable goes, for putting things like photos into ornaments, because I assume that's what a lot of people want to do, is like photo type things like that. There is a printable transparency film. And this works with all general inkjet printers for the most part. So you can, it behaves just like acetate, but it's for printers. So I got this on Amazon. Yes, baby.
It's like a, when it gets like a, oh no.
I think it's okay. Just let it do its thing. So you can use this. Now, I tested this the other day, and the thing I did not like about it is that it's very translucent. So it's hard to see the image that was printed on it. So what I did to remedy that is I took a piece of white vinyl, I cut it out, and I applied it behind the image so that you could see the image more clearly. So I thought that would be the end of that, and that would be a good solution. But there was bubbles left with the transparency film, and it didn't matter how much I burnished it, there was bubbles that would show through. So in general, I have found I don't really care for this approach. There's a couple other things I might test with it, but I'm not actually at a point where I would recommend this. I'm letting you know about it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Here's what I'm testing right now. There's two things I'm testing right now. One is to get good old-fashioned just photo paper, like glossy photo paper, and get it in 8.5 by 11 sheets that you can run through your printer, because then you can place it onto your Cricut mat and have it do a print and cut, or it prints around the ornament design or cuts around the ornament design. And then you can put it into an ornament ball where you do pictures. Sorry, that's someone in the neighborhood racing a car. So you can put the pictures in the ornament like that. Now this one here, if you don't want to go with the photo paper in 8.5 by 11, you can use, what did I use here? I used acetate for this, and then printable vinyl or printable sticker paper. And I just printed the image on the sticker paper and then took the acetate and put it on each side. Put the printable vinyl image on each side of the acetate sheet that we just cut out here. And then I put it in the ornament, and it's a double-sided photo ornament. So I don't have a tutorial out specifically on that process yet, but if you guys want me to make a short one, I should be able to squeeze it in this week. And that way, anyone who wants to make these last minute or for future years, I can show you how to do that. I think the printable vinyl or sticker paper on the acetate, double-sided, is probably going to be the winner in the end, because I feel like it has the best results. It's not too many extra steps. And it still kind of includes that acetate process, which is similar to what we're working with here today. So if you have thoughts or questions about that, let me know. But I may try and whip up a short video on that just to kind of show you guys the process of that as well. Put this over here. Cutting. Yeah. Okay. So while that's still cutting, I already have some designs cut out. So we're just going to start working with that, because I've shown you everything you need to do up to the point of getting it out of the machine
And
there.
the ones we did yesterday.
Yes, the ones we did yesterday, baby. Yep. All right, sounds great. Okay, so here are some designs that I've already cut out, just like the one we're cutting right now. I've already weeded them because I didn't want to bore you guys to death watching me weed. So here's a few different, this one's the textured metallic. This one's the holographic we're cutting right now. And then I'm also going to show you, where is the other one? I'm going to show you the Joy to the World one too, because this is 2 colors. So I just want to show you how I combine it onto one liner and then apply it to the acetate in case you do more than one color for your holographic ornaments, okay? So I'm going to make a little space here and then move you guys down so you can see what I'm doing. All right, how we doing over here, Ella? Done?
No, I feel well.
You got it? All right, so why don't you weed right here and I'm gonna keep working with them over here, okay?
How much scissors?
Scissors? Yeah. Right there for me. So she's just unloading the vinyl and she's just trimming off the extra vinyl. That's it. All right, so I'm gonna move you guys down so you can see my desk here. All right, any other questions, babe?
Nope.
No? Okay. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them for you. I have to see part of my computer there, but that's okay. All right. So here's a couple designs that I have. And let's do the Believe one since it's in the same vinyl we're cutting out over here just to kind of be consistent. And then I'm going to show you the Joy to the World one after that. So you're going to need to get some transfer tape. I have this linked on the blog. I don't remember actually the name of this transfer tape, the brand. It's not Cricut brand. It's one that's on Amazon. I find that it works a little bit better than the Cricut brand. So I'm just going to cut a piece down. You got it, baby? Yep. Okay, good job. All right. I'll borrow your scissors. Remember, if you need to, honey, cut off the extra vinyl first and then keep weeding. That way it doesn't grab any little pieces. Okay, there we go. And I'll need all this. So trim.
It's the movement that you want to say.
Okay, so here is, now I want to show you a little like hack for when you're weeding or applying transfer tape. If your liner does this to you and you're trying to weed, it can be frustrating, or even when you're trying to apply your transfer tape. So just stick it back on your Cricut mat and now it doesn't curl on you. It's kind of like having an extra set of hands to help yourself. So I like to do that when the vinyl is really like curling like that. Just gonna press that down, and I think I mentioned this in our supplies earlier. You will want a Cricut scraper tool. Most crafters have Cricut scraper tools on hand. If you don't have one, a credit card can work. So I'm just burnishing on the front here really well first. All right. Now that I've got that on there, I'm going to flip the mat and actually take it off the mat because I need to burnish it on the back as well. Okay. And I'm going to burnish on the back.
Why are you burnishing?
Burnishing is a fancy term for rubbing with the Cricut scraper. So you're rubbing the design onto the transfer tape. So I hear crafters all the time say, my transfer tape won't stick. How did you get it to stick? You know, the tape is a factor, but the bigger factor is usually the process of transferring. So notice I always burnish on the front, and then I always burnish on the back, front and back. And then a lot of people will lift from the front like this. You actually want to lift with the design face down and focus on peeling the liner away from the transfer tape. So I'm going to start with that. Now let's say you get to, I don't know if I'm going to get it, an example here, doesn't look like it, but let's say something's catching here, okay, and it's still clinging to the liner. It's always a good idea to like press and crease with your thumb and then start rolling it away. So press and crease and start rolling it away. And that usually releases it onto the transfer tape. So just some extra tips and tricks there for you in case that's something that you deal with. Okay, so we have that design off. Here is our acetate piece here. It's kind of hard to see, I know, but I got that in my hand. I like to keep it face down so sticky side is up because I feel like I can see what I'm doing when I'm going to place this down. Whereas if I try and do like this, I feel like I can't see the acetate and it's just a total blind guess in the dark. So I like to keep it like that, face down. And I'll sort of pay attention to where the little top piece is. Again, I know this is a little hard to see on camera because we're dealing with something clear, but here's the top of my ornament silhouette acetate piece. And then I'm kind of placing, I like to hover, kind of just hover until you feel fairly confident that you can lay it down like that, okay? And then we repeat the process of burnishing. So burnishing on both sides again.
And why are you burnishing?
Why am I burnishing? Because we have to rub it to get the design to release onto our acetate. Oh, baby, you're pushing my desk.
I'm sorry, I didn't know there was a button.
Sorry. My desk is mechanical, it goes up and down. She just hit the button.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Okay, so now I'm burnishing the front. Should be good to go there. And now I'm going to start peeling the transfer tape away. Another tip for working with transfer tape when you're releasing a design, I used to do this all the time, up until probably even a couple of years ago. People like to lift like this. It's a natural thing to do is to lift like this. You want to go straight back, not up, but straight back. So you did a really good job weeding that baby girl. Stick it over here and show them how good you did. Good job. Yeah, you're the little weeding queen. There you go.
Oh, that's why I want you to print me out butterflies because I like
I know.
reading.
She's always asking me to cut more things out in vinyl like butterflies because she loves to weed. All right, so I'm releasing the transfer tape there. There we go. So now we've got our vinyl design on that acetate. Looks really pretty. Okay.
Can I try?
Yes, I will help you in just a second. And let me grab one of these. Okay. I filled up most of these, so I'm actually just going to take one of my designs. Ella, baby, don't stand over there then, okay? Stay on the other side so you don't hit the button.
I love this thing.
All right. I'm whittling this design out because I think I used all of my.
Big ornament?
Yeah, I moved. Well, maybe there's another one. I see.
Need one?
I don't know if there's another one in that box. I can just try and pull out a design real quick. I've made so many of these this week. I honestly don't know if I used all my designs up or not. 1 second. Okay. I got one, babe. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. So here is our ornament. I've taken the crown off and done something with it that I don't know. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I've taken the little crown piece off. And here's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. You're going to roll this up. So I like to roll it so that the design is going to be inside the roll. So it might take a couple tries on this. So you're just going to roll it up. See, kind of unrolled on me there. So it takes a couple tries. Okay. So once you get that, kind of hold it in your hand like this if you can, and then come to your ornament and stick it right through the neck and let it open out. And then you're going to need to grab a weeding tool probably to shift it around a bit. So I'm going to shift it in here to get it centered up a bit more. All right, there is our floating ornament. We got that in there. It looks pretty good. I'm turning it to the side here so you can see that it's fairly straight in the center. There's not a whole lot of like bowing or anything, but I am going to show you a trick in just a second. I think I have another design here that's bowing more I can show you. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But here's how that turned out. And then I'm going to show you the Joy to the World so you can see how to layer two together in case anybody wants that tip. All right, so there is our floating ornament. Got other ones that are very similar. It's really pretty. It looks really pretty with like the lights behind the Christmas tree because it can really shine through. And I think they make really good last minute gifts too. You have any questions so far, babe? Okay. Hopefully that means y'all got your questions answered then. All right, so I'm going to show you this one. And it's the smaller size. So this is the smaller, here we go. This one, I'm doing a smaller ornament. So this is the smaller acetate sheet. I cut this out in advance. And I'm just going to show you how I would just layer this really quickly. Can you, babe, real quick, I didn't think to grab this before. In the third drawer down on the cart closest to you, there should be some parchment paper. I just want to show them the parchment paper trick because I know for beginners or anyone who hasn't heard of this before, it can be helpful. Thank you. Okay, so little trick when you're layering vinyl, parchment paper can be your best friend. So I'm just going to cut a little piece off here. Okay, it needs to be a little bigger than that. Good old-fashioned store-bought parchment paper. And I'm going to grab some transfer tape. I have a piece cut here. And I want to get the Joy to the World that's in the gold onto the liner of the little green wreath here, okay? So I'm going to start first. Varnishing that. This transfer tape is actually excessively large, so I'm probably going to trim that down. Right. Trim down this transfer tape. I don't need that much. Probably save it. Well, some of it maybe.
Can you have the itty bitty piece?
You want the itty bitty piece? There you go. All right. So again, I'm lifting the liner. Okay, here's an example. It's, if you can see it on camera, it's a little hard, but it's kind of catching here where it's not all the way laying onto the liner. That's where I would press and crease it and then roll it away and it releases. Yep, see it's catching right there. There we go. Okay, so got that to release. And again, if this is like difficult for you to work with the liner kind of curling, using your mat can come in handy.
You have a question, is there a substitute that can be used if the Mylar is not in stores?
At this time, nothing I could recommend that would be found in stores. I usually buy all this on like Amazon. So I would recommend like probably just checking online for that and ordering some in advance if you can. But no, I'm sorry. I don't really have anything that I would recommend off the top of my head because I haven't tested it and I wouldn't want you to spend money on something if I recommend it and then it not work for you. So no recommendations off the top of my head though. Okay, so here's what you do for layering if you want to use the parchment paper trick. So parchment paper is a little translucent. And if you lay it on top of the design like this, now we're working on a mat, so that's going to create a little bit of a problem. So I may need to take it off the mat for this. I didn't think about that. So the mat may not be able to be used if you're going for the parchment paper route. So I'm going to place the parchment paper on top. I'm going to take the Joy to the World and I'm going to place it on the other side on top of the parchment paper. Now I can't, on the camera, it's probably a little difficult to see, but what you can do is you can shift, get my finger under here. You can shift this design around, see how it's shiftable, until you're happy with the center placement of it. And I'm happy with that center placement right there. And there's not a lot, there's a little bit of overhang on my transfer tape right here. So I'm going to push that down before I release it. Why is it sticking? Oh no, did you grab me parchment paper or something else?
Grab whatever was there.
My husband grabbed me something that wasn't parchment paper because it's sticking. Oh no. Let me see if I can save it.
What, it's sticking?
Yeah, it's not supposed to stick because it's parchment. It must have been a different paper we had in the drawer. I do have other papers over there. You could grab a different one. I should have looked more closely. It feels like parchment paper.
Yeah, I thought it felt like it.
Okay, sorry, this is not part of the plan. I have a video on the blog that actually shows this working because I do not think I have the correct paper here. Yeah, I don't. Sorry, guys. Mistakes happen, right? Okay, so we're going to do a different design. Yay! Rolling with the punches. Let's do a different design. I'll show you guys that. Anyways, the parchment paper trick does work, but I do not think we grabbed parchment paper, which is why that did not work in theory. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this design here, and I'm just gonna layer it in a more traditional manner, and then that way we're not running into this issue again, because I don't want to take a risk that I grab a different paper again. So here we go. Let's just continue. Ignore the little oopsie. Okay. But in general, that does work. So don't be afraid to give it a try. I have another blog post that is like, I don't know, 15 hacks that every Cricut cracker needs to know. And it shows the parchment paper trick, and it actually does work. But I grabbed the wrong one. So you can check that out on AbbiKirstenCollections.com if you actually want to see that hack actually work. All right, any other questions, babe?
No.
Okay.
Would it be the 25 sanity saving craft vinyl hacks?
Yes, that one. All right, I've reached the point where I have so many posts I can't even remember the title of them off the top of my head. I have to go and like look.
I just dropped the link in the.
Oh, thank you, honey.
You're using plastic ornaments, right?
Yes, plastic.
Yes.
You could do that with glass. Is that what they're asking?
No, somebody's asking if you can use plastic instead of glass.
Oh, yes, I am using plastic. Yeah, plastic is pretty much all I use. With 2 kids and 2 dogs in the house, glass would be not recommended. But yeah, you can do this with glass, because I've had people ask me if you could do it with glass or with plastic, and yes, you can. So this ended up getting cut out in the same color. I don't know why it cut on 2 different mats, but I'm just going to layer this together. Let's pretend that one shifted. Okay. Let's pretend it's 2 different colors. It's not, but let's pretend it is. Place that down and brush this on. I have this one. Here, you can see why I did 2 different colors on that one. It's gold and red. Then the only thing I don't like about the matte thing is like it does get sticky, but sometimes you just gotta like trade one problem for another. Pick whichever one's easier, right? There we go. Burnishing the back now. And there we go. And then I think this is a large design. I was going to try and do a smaller one, but since this is a large one, we're gonna use the large acetate sheet again. Same concept would apply if you're doing it a different size, so don't worry about that. It doesn't change anything. Make sure I'm actually putting it the right side up. Okay, so I'm just kind of hovering again. That's why that grace area is important when you're scaling these in Design Space, just to make sure that is not, hanging over. You have a little wiggle room. If it's not, perfectly centered, it's really not the end of the world if it's not perfectly centered. When you get it into the ornament, it hides some of that flaw. I've done it on some of these where they're not perfect. So in a nutshell, this is the process. And I will try and put together a short video on the photo one, since some of you expressed interest in that. I have gotten questions in my email and on social media as well. So I will do my best to put a short together this week to show that process. Okay, so we're just removing that. This one actually looks really pretty in all gold. All right, so there's that one. And then, let's see, I think I'm out of, I have plenty of small ones, but I don't have any big ones. So here's actually, well, you guys get the idea of how it goes in, but let me just grab one of these. So if you need to pull something out, you can very carefully stick your finger in, kind of like twirl and twist and work it out gently. So that's helpful to know if you need to pull something out to trim it down a little. I've had a couple where it's just a little too tight in there and it's a little bunched up. So if that's the case, I would just take a pair of detail scissors and very, very slightly go around the circle, and then that will give it the extra space it needs to sit comfortably in the ornament. I have more tips on that on the full blog post that goes with it, so you can check that out. But then, yeah, same thing again. You would just roll it back up. And this is the disc sort of one. Pop that in there. There you go. Oh, that one opened very nicely. I don't even think I need my weeding tool. No, I don't. That happens every once in a while, and that's nice. And then we'll just put that cap back on. Okay, so that is how we make floating Christmas ornaments with our Cricut machine. And there is lots of different designs you can go and grab. Let me put the URL up for you guys here. So like I said, members.abbykirstencollections.com, you can get the free acetate base template and some of these typography designs here, like all is calm, all is bright, 'tis the season. Those are freebies for anyone and everyone who would like them. They're a gift from me to you. Enjoy them. And then some of these other designs, the Christmas scenes, like the snowman and the tree, the Believe with the little Santa Claus flying overhead. Those are for our premium members. So if you are not yet a premium member and you wish to be, you can get that information on abbykirstencollections.com/members. It's only $9 per month. Right now, you can cancel anytime. It's the best value. I do have an independent shop, but these currently are member exclusives for the scene ornaments here. So that is that information if you want more info on that. And let me check comments real quick because I want to make sure if anybody has any more questions that I am not ignoring you. Yeah, parchment paper hack is the best. Yes, it is the best when you actually use parchment paper, right? I'm at the end. Here, let me turn this up so you can see me. I'm at the end of the year, obviously we all are. And when I get to the Christmas season, I do more crafts than any other time of the year. And it's also the time of year where like everything's screaming for organization at this point in the year. So I think I shoved too many things in one drawer and we just grabbed the wrong one, but that's okay. Yeah, Teresa's saying hubby may have grabbed you freezer paper. That's highly possible. I think I have freezer paper in the drawer and that's probably why it stuck there. Okay, so even if you're watching this replay, let me get this off my screen. Even if you're watching this as a replay, feel free to post your questions. I am happy to answer them. I will jump back in. I will answer more questions for you guys. I will do my absolute best to get a short video up of the photo option. And if you're like kind of seasoned as a Cricut crafter, again, I used acetate, just like we were using in these. And then I used a printable glossy sticker paper, or you could use a printable vinyl. And I just put on both sides. I let the Cricut cut it out through print and cut, and I put the photo on both sides, and then I rolled it up and stuck in the ornament the same way. Like I said, I will try and get a video up on that to help you. And let me show you what the joy to the world is supposed to look like. There you go. It's a little hard with the glare. There you go. So that's what's supposed to look like if our little issue hadn't come up there. And there's more information on the blog too, step by step, all that good stuff. I think I lost my little assistant. She usually is happy to help for the first half, and then she's like, bye, mommy. And so I use holographic and the textured metallic vinyl, which I really like, but don't be afraid to try others. I tried this one here that is a pattern vinyl, and it's like a buffalo print, a checkered print. And I think that could look really cool too, depending on like your style, your theme of your tree, whatever. So don't be afraid to try other patterns and styles as well. They can definitely work for this craft. So any other questions that you see, babe?
Nope.
No other questions. Okay, so one other thing I just want to mention real quick before we go, we wrap this up is, let me pull this up so you guys are like, what the heck are you talking about, Abby? So right now, some of you might know, maybe you've seen my video on it. I have a DreamBox in my craft room. I'm going to rotate you all this way so you can see it in case you don't know what the heck I'm talking about. So this is my DreamBox. It's decorated for Christmas right now. Hang on, my camera is, hey babe, camera's falling. Thank you. So this is my DreamBox, and if you've never heard of a DreamBox, it's like the ultimate craft storage cabinet, and it closes up on both sides. Thank you. I just don't think I screwed it on tight enough. It closes up on both sides to sort of be like a cabinet armoire, and it is great. It holds so much. I think I have like, oh my gosh, a few hundred rolls of vinyl in here and so much other stuff. But the reason I'm telling you, my husband's rolling my eyes at us right now. So the reason I'm telling you about this is right now, Create Room is having a sale on their DreamBox. It is $200 off with the code that you're seeing on the banner on your screen right now. You also get a free gift for the first, I think it's 100 purchases. And there's also additional savings if you want to add things on. So they have like, extra tables you can add on to this, and they have additional like other stuff on it, like the crown that comes with it and all of that. So there's even more savings if you do the add-ons. Now, this is not for everybody by no means. It is a hefty price item. But if you're someone who's like, I've been wanting one, or, oh, that looks like what I need, save every dime you can during their sale right now. We all want to save as much as possible, right? And they do offer payment plans. They don't advertise that a lot, but they do offer payment plans. So take advantage of that. And they make amazing Christmas presents for the crafters in your life, or maybe for yourself. So make sure you use that code on your screen there to save the extra money off if you're interested in those savings during Create Room sale. Okay? And my assistant is probably dropping the link that you can shop this in the comments right now. I will make sure to go back and add it to the YouTube video afterwards in case you're watching the replay. Okay? So let me turn it back. Well, can I see you? Okay. I don't know if they can see me.
I see just
you see. Okay. So thank you guys so much for joining me today for our holographic floating ornaments and sticking with me through a couple little missteps. If you have other questions, let me know. I will see you guys next month for our next craft along. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year with your family. That's it. Bye for now.